Well, I was gonna record this video, so I pulled out all our stuff that we need for this next school year, set it on the table, and then I suddenly felt really overwhelmed. But we're gonna do this anyway, all right, guys? So I get overwhelmed too, and maybe you feel that way too. So we are gonna talk about how I plan for the school year today, and I'm so excited you're joining me, and let's be overwhelmed together today, okay? Let's just do it together, all right? You do things scared, right? We're just gonna do it scared. Anyway, I'm not gonna throw any more cliches at you, but hey, let's get into it. All right, great, now we got a Phi joining us. So I knew that I needed to plan for this next school year. We're coming into the 2023-2024 school year. I created a Living Books Homeschool Planner, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna use it, as well as plan a few things for my kids for our school year. I also printed off a full year calendar that I got from Alicia Hutchinson at her website. She's got some really great homeschool resources. I love what she says too. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk about like our group subjects. So I've got our morning time curriculum here. We're going to be doing the beauty loop from A Gentle Feast. And this is gonna be cycle 4, because I looked at this and it looked so good. I am so excited. We've got some great poetry we're doing. Anyway, I don't need to go into detail. I talk more about this in another video, but we're gonna talk about our group subjects, like Bible and our read alouds. And then we're gonna talk about our individual subjects that each child would do on their own, and all the reading and books that we're gonna be doing. So I'm excited. Here we go. You guys ready? If you're ready, give me a thumbs up and just keep watching. Okay, on my laptop here, I've got our book list pulled up. We're gonna be using Ambleside Year 6 for my 7th grader, and then Ambleside Year 3 for my 3rd and my 5th grader. We'll kind of go back and forth, find stuff that they need. Okay, so on this page, I'm just gonna start writing all of the read alouds we have, all the curriculum each child has, and then we're gonna break it up child by child and by group subjects as well. So here we go, let's try that. Okay, so I was realizing that I'm grouping my 5th and 7th grader for several things. So I'm kind of excited about that. They're gonna be able to maybe not do it at the same time. They'll probably still have these things on their own, but they're gonna be doing some similar things here. In the past, I've been grouping my 3rd and my 5th grader together, but it looks like this year it needs to kind of shift a little bit, and I'm gonna do my 3rd grader with a lot of individual work with him on his level, and then my 5th and 7th grader will do a lot of things together there. So we are using All About Reading for their phonics and for reading, learning how to read. The 2 boys, the 3rd and the 5th grader, are gonna continue with these. My 5th grader is almost done with volume 2. As soon as he's done with that, then he's gonna be done with All About Reading. My 3rd grader will start volume 1 for All About Reading, but then he will go into volume 2 as soon as he finishes this one. And then once he finishes that, then they'll be done with All About Reading. We'll be done with that. By the way, if you want to see what I picked for each of my kids for this school year, I have my video on math, on what I picked for them for math this coming year, and we have a video for each of them for what we're doing for language arts. I have those videos out as well as our family subjects. That's another video. So if you want to go and watch those videos to see exactly what I've picked for this school year, you can go check those out. So on my next page of my planner here, we've got a brainstorm page for separating by books, by subjects, or kids, or themes, or even quarters. And I think what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna write subjects on one side and like kids on the other. And then I'm gonna see the overall books that we have picked for the school year. I'm gonna switch to my pencil too, because I feel like I write faster with that pencil. So, alrighty, here we go. Next step, let's do it. Also, by the way, hi, if we haven't met yet, my name is Ashley. I'm a homeschool mom to 3 kiddos, and I've been homeschooling for about 9 to 10 years now. That's just because I started my oldest when she was like 2.5. I was just so excited to homeschool. We did like preschool stuff back then. I was researching homeschool back then, but she officially didn't start school until, a few years later. We just did, a lot of reading together and crafts. But anyway, I've been in this homeschool game for a while, and I love encouraging other moms, especially those who are Charlotte Mason inspired moms. And the reason I do Charlotte Mason is mostly because of the living books aspect. Because Charlotte Mason is not about textbooks, really, although I do have a couple textbooks here. Shh, don't tell her. Okay, anyway, she's not really about textbooks, but it's all about reading good, rich literature, just good books. Just read a good book. And if you can teach your kids to read a good book and to think for themselves and to learn from reading a book, you've taught your kids a whole lot of good stuff. So I do literature for mostly history and for their literature as well. That is why I made the Living Books Homeschool Planner, is to be able to manage and to organize all your literature books that you're using for whatever subjects, for all of the subjects or some of the subjects. For example, we don't necessarily use living literature for math, although we do love Life of Fred, but I don't know if I would count that as living literature, but it is a good book, and it's not necessarily your normal textbook that you would have. But so there you go. And then Delari, Greek myths. Okay. What do we do next? So I'm gonna go through and look at these book lists really quick and see if there's anything else I wanted to pull out. Oh yeah, Trial and Triumph, I forgot about that one. So I'm looking at Ambleside Online, year 6 right now. And this is for, this would be for my 7th grader or any of my kiddos if they would fit. Okay. And really when I pick things, I don't pick everything because really they just seriously give you a lot. They just offer a lot and you don't need to do it all. It's okay. It's okay to only do a little bit. Okay, so now I'm looking at additional books for free reading. I want my daughter to be able to pick her books that she wants to read, but I do want to give some suggestions as well. It looks like we've read some of these already, like The Number of the Stars. We just did that last year. Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, she did the year before. Where the Red Fern Grows, she hasn't read that one yet. And it looks like there's a few, like Huckleberry Finn. Ooh, these all look good. I've never read some of these. A Little Brother to the Bear. Ooh, what's that one? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Okay, Call of the Wild. Okay, she started that one and she loves the Swiss Family Robinson movie, so maybe we'll add that one to our list. So I'm not gonna give my 7th grader much more on this list. And we're not gonna schedule all of these right all in like the first month or two. We're gonna spread these out over several months, and that's totally okay with me. Especially the Augustus Caesar's World. We're gonna have her take probably the whole year to go through this. And I just want her to read a few pages, each day, a few days a week, and not really try to rush through it. I want us to slow down a little bit this year and to be able to chew on and digest what we're reading, whether it's for history or just fun literature. So I'm not gonna add any more books also because I want her to be able to pick some of her own. Maybe she's gonna come across something she sees at the library, or we come across something in a podcast that we get recommended by a friend. I don't know. I wanna leave room and space for her to choose things and not feel like she's bogged down by always having to read certain things for school. So her list is pretty much done. We're gonna leave it there. And now I'm gonna do the boys. I'm gonna add the readers that I think they need to read this year into their list. Looks like my 3rd grader needs some other books. Oh, I wanted to try them to start Hank and the Dog. Oh, Hank the Cow Dog, is that what it's called? Hank the Cow Dog, we'll try that. I want my youngest to try the Boxcar Children. Okay, the reading record is where when once we start reading and we read a book and finish it, we'll put it in here. I'm gonna have the kids keep their own individual reading records in their elementary, in their not consumed planner, which, let's see, where is it? Planning, records. So yeah, back here. So in each of the kids' individual planners, they're gonna keep track of the books they read on their own. And then for my planner here, we're gonna keep track of the books we read together as a group. Okay, so we've got July here, and we're not starting in July. We're gonna start in August, so let's skip ahead to August. Now, the way I do my planner here, this is to keep track of their living books and any curriculum that we do all together. I am not gonna keep track of their individual work in my planner here. So I will keep track of their individual activities and things that they do in their planners. Let's see if I can find an example. Here we go. So in their individual planners, we will keep track of their individual work, but I will keep track of all the master list and reading right here in my planner. So in August, let's look at our calendar here. So when are we going to officially start? We have Vacation Bible School all next week. So we're not going to officially start till Wednesday the 9th is probably going to be like our first day. Wednesday the 9th will be week 1 because Monday the 7th is my birthday. August 8th is my son's birthday. We'll start after that. So week 1 of August, we're not going to have anything because that's going to be getting ready for school. We might start our routines, maybe keep up with math, but I'm not going to have any read alouds or reader books planned for them that month or that week. Okay, I'm going to fill in their books that they're going to read. And here's how I do this. Here, back to this list. There it is. So now every month when I sit down to write down what they're going to read, I'm going to look on my Brainstorm page and we're going to add those books from here onto here. When they finish a book, then we pick another one. And then if we run out of books on my Brainstorm page, then I will come back to the book list and I will pick more books if we run out, or we'll go to the library and pick our own. But again, I don't have any specific pace that I plan to go. The whole point is, again, to just read good books, talk about them, and go at our own pace and go slowly so we can sit in things and digest them as we go. And not rush to finish things, you know, and check off a list. That's not my goal this year. So we have E. So I'm going to write down all 3 of my kids. EA, C, and then read alouds. And then history. We'll kind of do that. So E is going to have Augustus Caesar, Lord of the Rings, and then whatever book she's reading, and then her fun book, like library book. Okay, A is going to have, oh, she needs Story of the World too. A is going to have AAR Volume 2. C is going to have AAR Volume 1. And then his current audiobook. And then Mr. C is going to pick from his list, and he hasn't picked yet, so I'll have to add that in later. Okay, read aloud is going to be Trumpet of the Swan. Okay, so our fun read aloud for this first week of school is going to be Trumpet of the Swan. As far as history and science goes, I'm not going to do anything for that just yet, mainly because, number one, I don't have my teacher's guide for my Beautiful Feet books history curriculum. I'm also not in a rush to jump into everything the first few weeks in August. I will probably not start our regular history read alouds until September is my plan. So we're not going to have any of that for now. We're just going to do fun read alouds, just getting into the rhythm of how we do school again. Also for science, I don't have my curriculum printed out yet. There's that. But again, we're gonna go kind of slowly. So I'll add those in later when I look those up or whenever I get the teacher's guide, and I'll probably add them into September is what I'll do. So this is the basic way I would use this monthly reading tracker. I can put notes down here. Like in the past, I wrote some notes for like, okay, if we finish this early, we can read this book next or whatnot. But yeah, we can put notes in there. But I'm not planning, you know, how many pages we're reading or how many chapters we're reading. I am just planning the books that we're reading. And the whole point is to just, you know, read it until it's done. So this is gonna be more of a, like a look ahead of what I wanna do. And then I would fill in everything there for them continuing to read those books that they're assigned. Woo! All right, so that is just the living books that I planned for the month of August. Pretty simple, not too many. If we add more later, we add more, great, but I'm not gonna plan too much. Then the next thing I wanna plan, I wanna show you is our morning time checklist. And this is like our group subject items. And I have most of them printed out here on the list already, but I'm gonna write in the ones that I don't have on here that I wanna make sure that we do. And this is my reverse planning. As we go, I'm gonna check it off and then write down what we did. So each day I check it off, write down what we did, not necessarily plan ahead unless I need that. There are some weeks where I'm like, oh, I need to remember on Thursday to do this lesson. I will write that in there. But for the most part, I do this as a reverse planning tool, and it helps so much, just like keep track of what we have done or what we haven't done yet. And it helps me not feel overwhelmed thinking, you know, I'm getting behind on the plan, you know. So if you, like for example, if you plan something out and then things don't go the way that you planned it, then you can feel like you're behind and you're just off. So I made this so that way you can do reverse planning and you can still have a structure that you're following and that you know what direction you're headed. And you want to get these subjects done, so you have that structure in place, but it's not so restraining that you feel like you do have some freedom. So what are some things we need in here that aren't written in here? So we have Life of Fred, and we need Spanish. I'm gonna wrap this up in just a minute, but before I do that, I'm gonna wrap it up because number one, I gotta go. Number two, you probably gotta go somewhere. And number three, I am still feeling a little bit overwhelmed and I would like to, you know, break up this planning session into several little sessions. So that's how I would do that. So I'm gonna grab the Not Consumed planner and going over for each individual child. So we've got some goals here that I can do with my kids later, but what I wanted to look at was the educational snapshot. And this is where I will keep track of all their individual subjects, and we're gonna write those down and make sure they're all in one spot, and then we'll be able to schedule them for their first week of school. So we'll do that next. So let's do, here we go. This is for my third grader, is my youngest. He'll be 8 next week, so he's my 8-year-old. And I wrote down all the subjects that we have for him in a typical week. I want him to do throughout the week. Now, this is really cool here. So you write down the subject, and then you have the tools used. So what is the curriculum or the books that he needs, and then how long does he do it for? Is it 10 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? You know, and then how often? Are we gonna do it daily? You know, 4 to 5 days a week? Is it gonna be every other day, or is it gonna be once a week? Is usually the type of way I do subjects. So Bible, he's reading the Action Bible, and that takes him about 10 minutes, and he's gonna do that daily. We continue to do that daily. I'm gonna fold this over. Spelling, he's gonna start out with All About Spelling. We're gonna finish that. And then he's gonna go into Phonetic Zoo from IEW. Really don't want this to be longer than 10 minutes as well. And this is tricky. I'm like, okay, how long do we do this for? Do I wanna make it daily, or do we do this just a few times a week? We're gonna try for daily this year because we've kind of struggled with doing spelling consistently. So I think if we set a goal for doing it daily, we should get it done. Handwriting, that's also daily. I know that. That's really easy for him. It takes him 5 to 10 minutes. And he's gonna finish, he's got a couple books here. What is it? Zahner Blosser. And then he's going to go, let's see. So he's gonna finish handwriting Zahner Blosser, and then he's gonna go into Logos Cursive once he finishes that, okay? And then reading, he has his Living Books. And then he's gonna do the reading journal from not consumed. So I need to make sure we put that in there. This is super helpful. I'm really glad I'm doing this. This is like, oh, this is what I needed to do. This will help me plan my year. The reading journal. And so the reading portion should be like 15 minutes. He really does not like reading for too long, so we're gonna stretch that as he gets older, but he's also gonna do buddy reading with mommy. So the actual reading portion is 15 minutes, and then the reading journal is gonna be about 10 minutes. Then math. So we're doing 3rd grade math with confidence, and that's gonna take, that's usually 20 to 25 minutes. That's okay. Okay, let's go back. I don't want him to do the reading journal every day. So the actual reading is gonna be daily. The reading journal is and the buddy reading, that's gonna be like 2 times a week. So the narration and writing, my goal is gonna be 2 times a week. I'm not gonna pick the days just yet. I'll go into planning that later. But, and that's, I'm gonna set a good, we need 20, oh no, I'm gonna do short lessons, right? 20 minutes, no more. And we are using imitation writing. There, all right. So that is the beginning of how I plan for my year. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions in the description below. I will also link below to the planners from Not Consumed, the student planners. They have an elementary level, a middle school or high school level. They have lots of really good levels here. I think they have a primary level too for like 1st graders. Also, I'll link to my planner below, the Living Books Homeschool Planner, if you want to check that out as well. If you'd like a full flip through of the Living Books Homeschool Planner, you can go watch that video. I will link to that too. So for my next video, you're going to want to subscribe and come back to see the video on how I decluttered my homeschool this year. I'm doing some more big picture, like vision planning and goal setting for my homeschool. This was more of like the, what are we doing and when kind of planning. I have a video talking about how to declutter my homeschool coming up, and just some honest, explaining really what's going on, what I've been thinking, and evaluating my homeschool for this coming year. So if you like that kind of stuff, you'll want to come back next week or in a couple weeks for that one. So I'm so glad you're here. You guys rock. Go find his joy among the noise, and I'll see you in the next one.